Hi, Hannah. How's the weather?
Hi.
You're
Oh,
okay?
it calmed down quite a bit. We were having a big electrical thunderstorm about an hour ago, and I texted Mary Jean and I was like, I might not be live from anything tonight, depending on how this storm goes. And luckily it's cleared up, so I think it was a little overstated. Hello, Carol. Carol is the only one coming at us live from the
Yeah, she's
mill
coming
tonight.
live from the mill.
Live from the mill, but I'm going over to the shop so we can hear.
Perfect.
Oh, you
Well,
look good in that light. You look good by the porch light, Carol.
you look bundled up,
Thank-
Carol. Is it cold up
Yeah.
there?
It's cold outside. It's rainy. It had snowed, but now it's rainy. Yep.
It's too warm to snow. I'm in Syracuse, and it's too
Yeah.
warm.
Yeah, it's all melting now. There's Mary Jean.
Yeah, Heather and I can't figure out how to get ourselves.
Can you turn it? Is it horizontal or vertical right
If we
now?
have vertical, I don't want to make anyone sick.
It's true. I forget it doesn't switch.
Oh,
That might not work.
that's not good, right? We're now
Right.
sideways.
Yeah. Let's not do that. I think you guys will just have to go in frame as you talk.
Yeah.
So one could stand behind the other.
Like we do it at the mill, but we're seated at this. We have a suite here, so we're seated in a suite.
It'll be okay.
I know we don't get paid by Embassy Suites to say anything nice about them, but Carol, let me just say, maybe we should be looking at an Embassy Suite hotel when we're in Maryland, because this has got a whole room besides the bedroom in which to eat and drink.
Yeah. Well, my room in Pennsylvania was very nice too. That also had a room, a full refrigerator. Mm.
You guys are getting the
how we
scoop.
trashed your room in Maryland.
Yeah, well, it was fine. I liked it.
We did
After
not.
I spilled an almost full glass of Jim Beam on the carpet.
I didn't have to clean it.
No, your friend cleaned it up. Well, what I didn't lick up.
Oh dear.
Well, we have a lot of people joined us, and they probably didn't join us to hear you and me talk about how much we drank at Maryland Sheep and Wool. And Hannah's probably texting me right now to say, quit talking about all these exploits while on the road. Sheila just texted to say, I still have a cup from that night. Souvenir cup from Maryland Sheep and Wool.
Right, from Hannah. I have one too.
Yes, I do too.
Lily pitched in on those as well, just so you guys know. I don't want to take all the credit on the Maryland Cup situation.
So let's get official here and thank everyone who's called in, and thank Carol, who's truly live from the mill, and Hannah, our loyal communications director, who weathered a tornado warning to be on this with us from Nashville. And I'm Mary Jean, and I'm here in Syracuse, where I've come to go to a meeting in the morning and pick up wool in my hotel parking lot. And I found our friend and customer, Heather Warren, in the hotel parking lot, which is not far from Heather Warren's lovely farm. But being it was a dark and stormy night, we thought an interview live from the Embassy Suites was way better than live from Heather Warren's barn. See, she's saying yes. So with everyone here and on board, I'm going to turn the microphone to our friend Heather to tell us about her farm, where you got your name, how you decided on what breeds of sheep, how many. Tell us that, please.
Okay. So I'm of Scottish-Irish descent, and we were looking for something it took me like 2 years to name the farm. And we have some ponds on the farm, and depending on time of year, some are little, some are big. And Lochan Mor means big little pond, so that's why it got named that.
Nice.
You have to look that up.
So cute.
I did. No. I looked it up.
So you don't speak Gaelic or anything?
No.
Oh,
I wish, but no. But we have colored Angora goats. We have natural and white Leicester Longwools. We have Romeldale CVMs. We have white and natural Romneys. And we just added Shropshires.
Wow.
Crops right in
Crops.
the middle of that.
Yep.
So now some of our people who are watching us have no idea what you just said other than white and natural color. I think we've got them so they all know that means some are white and some are brown or gray or whatever. But I think we ought to go over the difference, why we're saying shrub, and even why we were starting to question those fine wools. So can you tell us a little more about those different breeds and why those breeds?
Okay, so the Leicester Longwool, three of the four breeds that we raise are heritage breeds. So that's why we chose them, as a conservation aspect. And the Leicester Longwool, that's kind of a strong wool. You can make like shawls and stuff. It's drapey. And the Romney is a little more springy, not quite so much. The Romeldale is a finer wool, so next to the skin soft. And then the Shrops, they're they're a dual breed, but we're hoping to make some awesome sock yarn with the help of you guys. That's actually my grandson's project. That's what they want to do. They're show sheep,
and we're gonna. Yeah. Would they let us put a little of your mohair in it?
Oh, absolutely.
Because I think that would be a nice sock
Yes.
yarn, a Shrop mohair.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Now we've spoken quite a lot for you in the past, and this idea of long wool, strong wool. Mm-hmm. Some people say, "Oh, that's only for carpet."
Yes.
But I don't think what you've got is her wool is not only for carpet. Tell us, how did this happen? Breeding? You've selected for this. How did you get such nice, soft, long wool?
It is selection. We make sure that we have the finest that we can have, but yet stay to the breed standard.
She brought some samples, you guys.
Oh, yay.
So excited.
Let's see the samples. Can we reach them already? Because it has a bearing. What you make with these different breeds is really important to know.
So this is my son's, I don't know if you can see, it's a Nessie. It's a little cap that I made him. And this is actually made out of Leicester Longwool. And, yeah. I mean,
wow.
Isn't that crazy? You guys did a wonderful job.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
And here's this one. So I hand dyed the colors.
Beautiful.
And this is another one. It's the wee mouse.
Cute.
Another cap, but this is all Leicester Longwool also.
See, people don't think of Leicester Longwool as a garment, even a hat garment. I mean, what is that, 4.5, 5 to the inch? You're knitting it like a worsted, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, that's really, really pretty. So everyone who's watching, don't be fooled by Heather's Leicester Longwool. Some of it won't do that. So do we spin your Romney also?
You have some now that you're doing.
I do. Okay.
You're doing a sock yarn for me with the mohair and the Romney.
Mohair Romney sock yarn. That'll be nice.
Okay.
That's great.
Is what you made for me. This is our mohair and our Romeldale.
Oh,
beautiful. That's
beautiful.
Oh, it's got a lot of
Birkin. Is that what the name of that pattern
Birkin.
is? Birkin.
Yeah.
It's really got a nice hand. It's very squishy. The Romeldale is definitely the lead in this, but you can see the halo. I was wearing my sweater that has some mohair, a commercial knit sweater that halos like this in the yoke. That's really beautiful. And you dyed those colors yourself?
Yep.
And it was the tan natural to start, and then you dyed these colors.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful.
Hannah,
and this is the
show notes, right?
I am. I'm taking notes the whole time. This is the CVM Romeldale blended with mohair?
Yep. Okay. Because I think people might want to know, Hannah, about the name of that pattern.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because they go to festivals and they see. Oh, Adirondack Knitter said that's a gorgeous Birkin.
Yes,
People
it
go
is.
to the festivals and they see this yarn and they don't know what to do with it.
And this is what it was. It was unwashed.
Oh, here it is on the cone. There's what we shipped, and
Yeah.
so you did the right thing. You skeined and washed that before you knit with it. Oh, if I had $1 for everyone that wants their yarn on a cone, we could pay off our loans. They want it on a cone, and then they think they're going to knit right from the cone, and they can't get gauge, and so then they keep going down the needle size till they're on about a 1, and then they wash it to block it, and it's a bulletproof vest.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, that's 100%
Beautiful.
Leicester.
Look at the sheen. You probably in a hotel room lighting can't see the sheen, but I can see the sheen. Oh,
that's
wow.
what I love about the Longwools is the luster and how they take color.
Yeah, the gray.
That took the dye really well. Look, did you all who are listening hear what Heather just said? This is the gray yarn with dye on top of it. It makes it so much deeper than to start with white.
And this is just the white Leicester. You can see how well it takes the yellow.
Yeah.
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 And that's really,
That's a 3-ply. That's got a lot of squish. That really.
It knits up beautiful.
Yeah. Wow. Well, you've got some beautiful, beautiful fiber.
How many sheep on your farm?
Around 100. I know.
Her husband might be listening. She can't tell the exact number.
Okay. But you got your hands full.
And you know what, Carol? She still works full time.
I used to do that. Yeah. But not anymore.
No, Carol only works a full-time farm and then 3 nights a week at the mill, and then she's got her grandkids. That's it. How many grandkids do you have?
3.
3. She's got 3 also.
Yep.
3 boys.
Yep.
And are they a help yet?
Yes. The 2 older ones, absolutely. The one is the best stall pitcher in the whole county.
Oh, that's great.
Tell Noah.
Yeah, I will.
Record this, Hannah. Carol needs to show her grandson. See, her grandson.
Yeah. He's more into hay farming.
Farm competitions. They're just
Right.
a little beyond my scope.
So do you have lambs yet?
Not yet. No, we're going to be probably, I'd say, March at the earliest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Good.
Heather, I would love to ask you about the Livestock Conservancy's Shave 'em to Save 'em initiative. I know that you're really big on that. And I know that a lot of people following us are going to know what that is, but would you talk a little bit about that and how it's helped you as a farm?
Oh, sure. It's so it was an initiative that started, 3-4 years ago, maybe. And you can buy a passport, and then there's a list of sheep that are on the conservation list, and you can contact different farms and do these projects. And they give out prizes and things like that, and they have different classes. Like I did one. Was it making a shawl? Actually, this was for making the sweater too.
Oh,
your
Birkin was for that. So you entered it in I made a Birkin from I'll Shave 'em to Save 'em.
And Deb Robeson, was she there?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think she was the teacher.
Oh,
Yeah,
Deb
it was
Robeson.
really
we
interesting.
love. She's Hannah. Do we have a upcoming guest from the Livestock Conservancy?
We are hoping so. We haven't confirmed 100% yet, but we've got a feeler out. And that will be for one of our upcoming ones, I can tell you. But we do have one coming up later in this month that we could talk about.
Oh, okay. But we've been a sponsor at the mill of the Livestock Conservancy's Shave 'em to Save 'em, and we've met you know, we know you because you live down the thruway a few exits, but we've met people from all over the country because we have this like little ad in the directory and they find us. It's been really interesting. Earlier today in the same parking lot where I found Heather, one of our other customers, Jen from Forget Me Not Farm, dropped off some Hog Island.
That's a great parking lot.
Yeah. The security guard has done a couple of drive-bys just to double check what's in these big plastic bags. But the smell is not something the security guard recognizes. Illegal.
Oh, that's so funny. I love what that initiative has kind of done to encourage spinners, especially to try lots of different breeds. And I feel like if you're a spinner and you're watching this and you haven't checked out Shave 'em to Save 'em, it is an iconic goal to spend a year filling out your passport. Like, do it. It's a spinning goal. And it's such a fun way to try all these different fibers, all these different breeds that are new to you. Like Mary Jean was saying, Hog Island is one that I haven't tried, but it's on my list, you know? So if you're the type of person who just wants to try a lot of different wools and get familiar with the things that you like and dip your toe into those heritage breeds, spinning is the way to go. But we also have
you only need like 4 ounces.
4 ounces, yeah.
If you know, before you invest. But a lot of what we brought home for processing from Maryland and somewhat from Rhinebeck was people who done the Shave 'em to Save 'em, done their 4 ounces and found a breed. They said, oh, I could do a whole fleece. They carry that fleece from the fleece sale most of the way across the fairgrounds and say, I'm never going to wash this. And they end up at our booth and ask us if we could make it into pin drafted roving, which is good.
Yes. And I've had a lot of repeat customers from it. You know, someone will buy like the 4 ounces and then the next thing you know, they're contacting me and buying more because they liked it so much.
So when you're doing education component, you know, talking to, and Carol, you probably want to weigh in on this too, but when you're talking to that customer at a festival and you're telling them about each of the breeds, do you compare the softness to something else, or do you try to definitely say like, this is standalone, you got to try it just for what it is?
I do the standalone and I'm really geeky about giving them information. I have like things all wrote up and but yeah. The education is huge.
She is an engineer, to be clear. I can say that because for those of you who haven't heard me being ribbed for this, I am too. So. Carol, what about you? You've got...
Oh, I have different breeds and I blend them differently. So I kind of show the differences and the different uses for the different yarns. You know, we did a Merino Corriedale and we did a Corriedale Wensleydale. They're just completely different yarns. And it's nice to show people how you can use one breed and blend it to make it different.
Like Heather's mohair added to her Romeldale.
Right.
For that sweater. That's just amazing. I'm looking at it now, that halo but that squish. You know, you just can't get that at Yarn Store Yarn.
Right.
You just, no offense to Plymouth and Barocco, which has got its place in the knitting world. But if you want something like that, you have to go to Heather.
Right.
Oh, speaking of going to Heather before our time runs out, Heather, can you tell them a little more? We've mentioned your farm name once, but you're on Instagram, right? And you're on Facebook.
And we have an Etsy store and we have a website, Lochan Mor Farm.
Can you, Hannah, you're going to look that up and spell it right for her and put a link and everything. Because Lochan Mor, it took me a few years to get that right myself.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We'll put it all in the show notes for everybody.
We'll talk about, I got to just tell this, Heather, I'm sorry. But how Heather and I met was our first, when she found Bat and Kill Fibers maybe 8 or 10 years ago, called or emailed, whatever. And she said, I've got a couple of bags of long wool and thinking of having some yarn made. I could come to you, but I work full time. And I said, oh, I go to Syracuse all the time. Is there a place we could meet? Well, we met at the park and ride at one of the busiest interchanges on the whole thruway. There's trucks. You're supposed to slow down. That's before Easy Pass, when you had to slow down to take a ticket or whatever. But they're roaring by us, and we're in this little narrow lot between the toll plaza and the forest in East Syracuse. And it might have been, I don't know, 100 degrees, maybe only 95 with noonish, because you were on lunch.
Yeah.
And so it was unbelievably hot. And she was there in a pickup truck with the back half covered. And I thought, oh, she drove her truck to work today. And then I realized the entire back half of her truck was full with wool that had to go into my Subaru.
Oh, no.
5 degrees and 95% humidity in the space between the toll plaza and the forest. With the trucks doing, but oh, it was something. I think of you. I think of Heather every time I get off at that exit, which I do a lot to go to the state fair or to go anywhere, to go to that great Wegmans. I get off at that exit, and I think of you every time I get off at that exit.
I'm wondering why it is that you never have a vehicle the right size for the wool that you're picking up.
Oh, really, Carol? David's wondering that too. At Mapleland Farms, he told me that he thinks my next Subaru needs to be a Ford Expedition.
There you go.
I didn't realize they made one. I think and Subaru doesn't pay me to talk about them either. But I think there's one called like an Ascent that might be like an Expedition. We'll have to look that up.
Right. Yeah.
So let's get back to how people can buy stuff from Heather. Because if worst come to worst, they can always just call the mill and we'll connect you. But Hannah's going to put all that in the show notes. And in the meantime, Heather's going to remind you all. She's got a website called that, Lochan Mor Farm. So that's what she's called on Instagram and Facebook.
Yep, and also one on Etsy.
So you can shop right now. You all who are listening, as soon as we sign off, you can sign on to that at Etsy and get a few skeins of this. Show them the Birkin again. I think that anybody who hasn't made a Birkin yet, who ought to just make this Birkin right here, as it turned out so nice.
It's so pretty.
Now, do you offer your hand dyed on there too, or is that just your personal?
I do at the fiber festivals.
Okay,
because it's hard to get the light right.
Yeah, online. Yeah. So you gotta just get this part and swatch this, and then you can't come to Central New York because Heather's going to her college roommate's anniversary party on June 10th and 11th.
Yeah.
But I'll be there. Carol, you coming with me June 10th and 11th?
I don't know what I'm doing in June. We'll see.
I can't drive that truck there alone. If I have to park it in any direction but straight ahead, I won't be able to stay. I'll just be circling the parking lot.
Oh, goodness.
Well, you have never seen me drive anything bigger than a Subaru.
No, you're a good driver. You're a good driver.
In a Subaru. Thank you, Carol.
You didn't do too bad, though, on that box truck that we met at the other, remember the hotel
We
right
met
off the circle?
at a box truck in a circle.
Yeah.
Carol,
There's
you're
been hot
driving
wool
I had
pickups you don't even
alone.
remember.
I was
Right.
driving a box truck in a circle. At like the Doubletree. I used to meet a lot of people at the Doubletree.
It was.
Now it's Embassy Suites. Doubletree is so last decade. They're both Hilton properties, so I like them both. It doesn't matter. So I suppose we've babbled on enough, Hannah. Do we have any questions we need to address before
We did not. If anyone has a question, please drop it in the comments. I've already added the name of Heather's farm, Lochan Mor Farm, in the comments, as well as the Birkin sweater pattern that we showed a few times. I'll include some extra show notes. Mary Jean, do you want me to talk about the upcoming Live from the Mills?
Yes.
Please. We have
Okay.
some very interesting, although none more interesting than stories from the side of the thruway. But
No, hot wool pickup is the headline.
It's like hot yoga, hot wool. It's the new thing. It fit more in because the lanolin melts. And
Right.
So we're going to have a community Zoom coming up on the 26th. Mary Jean and I are still finalizing what this community Zoom is going to be on. We have a couple options and we're still picking. But for those of you who haven't heard of that before, it's going to be sent out to our mill customers, people that we've done production work with. We do make these videos available later for people who might have missed it the day of, but those won't be here on Instagram. They're hosted on Zoom. So you need to be on the mill newsletter list for manufacturing partners to receive those. Those are for our farm partners. For those of you who are hanging out here because you love Live from the Mill, we have some really exciting February ones coming up. We have a Live from the Mill on February 2nd with Astrid, unique Astrid Tober.
Oh, good.
I think she's in the comments.
I saw her, yeah.
I did see her earlier, and she is just extraordinary.
Yes.
She's a young adult making her way in the fiber world, big way. Woven fabrics, doing amazing things on the loom, speaking for so many brands, really pushing the wool agenda forward. So we're really excited to talk to her, and we've made some yarn for her. So that will be fun to hear what's happening with that.
Mm-hmm.
Then later in February on the 16th, we have Ann Hansen from Knit Spot and Bare Naked Wools, a longtime yarn partner of ours and a huge designer. Lots of classes, amazing design catalogs. So we're very excited to have Ann on in February. So that's what we've got coming up on the calendar.
Wow, all very exciting. And Hope's favorite thing says that sounds like fun times. And Carol, you could tell Hope that you were pin drafting her beautiful Gotland.
Well, just before I got here, I pulled the cart out of the steamer, and her yarn is on there. It is gorgeous. I would like a sweater's worth of that, please. It is so pretty. It's Gotland Romney. I don't know if the sheep are crossed or if we blended the wool together. I don't know how that went, but it was beautiful, Hope. Can't wait for you to see it.
Yeah, if it falls off the truck. Hope,
yeah, it might be short, a couple
of
pounds is all.
Carol's farm and just see if it's gone there. You know, Hope's been to your farm, Carol.
She has, I know.
Sarah Pomegranate a few years ago. Hey, Hope you could come back last weekend in April for Washington County Fiber Tour. I remember meeting you there originally. What was that, 5 or 6, 7 years ago?
Oh, so long ago.
Oh, she said
take what you need, Carol.
Well, there. Be careful what you say.
Yeah, careful, Hope. Very careful.
We have it in writing, Hope. We have it on video.
Two different colors of gray. They're just so pretty. So pretty.
I have a friend in Delaware. 2019, she met us, Carol.
Yeah.
I have a friend from Delaware, and we've drawn a circle on the map looking for halfway places to meet. And we've identified your cute little shop, Hope, as one of those places that Laurel and I could meet. Oh, she says she'll
There's a sheep market happening.
I got a nice little lamb born this week.
Yes, Carol's already had a lamb.
Oh, wow.
Was that planned, or was that sort of a little
No, it was planned. We really hoped that it wouldn't happen while we were away, and it worked out fine.
Yeah, one day to spare. Why?
One day to spare. Yep. We had trained professionals there, but it's always nice to be there yourself.
For those of you who rewatch this later, you won't see the comments, but we have this fantastic exchange going on right now between Carol and Hope's favorite things, where Hope is trading some of that fantastic Gotland fiber potentially for a Romney lamb. And it's happening live.
And Georgie just signed on, and she's wondering what the heck she has just signed on to. But Georgie, we did just have a plug for Washington County Fiber Tour. So you're here at the right place at the right time. Georgie and her hubby, Joe, who's a shearer, have 2 little girls and a whole bunch of sheep, and this is their second year on Washington County Fiber Tour, and we heard nothing but great reviews from the visit that everyone had there. It was like a little bit of a 3-ring circus. They were shearing and they were spinning and they were weaving, and it was very well received at her farm. So, Georgie, I'm sorry you've just signed in, because we're all getting ready to sign off, because it's after 7 now, but we'll carry on in 2 weeks with a community Zoom, and in 4 weeks with another live with our special guest, who is Unique Astrid.
Yeah.
And she's 15 years old.
Wow, that's amazing.
She has more followers than everyone on this call combined.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, she's a powerhouse. I can't wait to learn about what she's been working on.
So let's go back to Heather for a minute.
Yes.
Let her say any last minute thoughts and goodbyes, and
There's like last minute thoughts.
Lochan Mor Farm.
Lochan Mor.
Lochan Mor.
Lochan Mor.
And we
And
do
it
farm
means-
tours if anybody
Oh.
wants. Yeah. Pre-COVID, we had open houses every spring and fall when we sheared. Hopefully we can get back to that, but anytime anybody wants to stop, we always love to show our creeks off.
And farmers in central New York, I've twisted Heather's arm on this. I'm not given all the details yet, but our new scouring facility that's only about 20 miles away from the mill is going to need lots of wool, and lots of farmers are going to want their fiber scoured. And Heather's not far from the thruway, as you've heard. And you too, you farmers, could meet Heather on the side of the road, or even at her farm, right at the farm, and drop off the wool. And then Colleen, our new administrator for the scouring facility, is commuting back and forth to Rochester and can swing by Heather's and grab your wool and get it washed. And Heather's, with her arm twisted, see how it's in the picture, is going to let folks drop their fiber off at her farm right near that hot throughway exit.
We're building a network. We're building
Yeah,
a
we
network
are.
so that
Yes,
you guys
we
can get
are.
your fiber to us easier, make everything faster, the scouring facility easier. It's going to be great.
Okay, well, I think we're ready to say goodnight then. Thank you all. Thank you, Heather, very much. Carol, for holding down the fort live from the mill. And Hannah, surviving the tornado.
Call me Dorothy.
Yeah. All right, folks, have a great night. Thanks again.
Good night.